Hi, Sophie here. So today we are going to be talking about my favorite food in the entire world, which is flax seeds. Why just making this one dietary change by including flax seeds into your diet might be the most important dietary change that you can make. I'm going to show you how to buy them, eat them, and store them. So I am a board certified holistic nutritionist, and if you were to come to me and say, Sophie, what is the one dietary change that I can make right now that will really have an impact, a significant impact on my health for years to come? The answer would be very simply introduce flaxseed into your diet and introduce it now. And the reason is that it has so many health benefits. You see, that I'm so interested in foods and what can really significantly alter our health outcome, really through what we eat for 3 meals a day. But there are very few foods that tick so many sort of disease prevention boxes as flaxseed, so everybody needs to eat it. So some of the highlights, the standouts for me in terms of disease prevention are breast cancer. So as we know, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and evidence-based science tells us that the lignans, which are phytoestrogens in flax seeds, are preventative against breast cancer. Yes. And this is all to prevent breast cancer from the get-go. So my daughter, who's 17, now is her time to start eating flax, and prevention all the way through your life. And even those who have been diagnosed and gone through breast cancer and treatment and whatnot, it has shown to improve your chances of survival. So that's very good news. Another one is diabetes. So type 2 diabetes, I should say. So flax actually can seriously help regulate blood sugar levels and increase insulin sensitivities. So if you have type 2 diabetes, please start eating flax seed or including it in your diet now, and tell anybody who you know who is type 2 diabetes to do the same. Also, it can significantly help with hypertension, high blood pressure. Most people don't know that, but scientific evidence shows us that it does. So those are the 3 really big standouts for me, but there are so many other health benefits. It's really beneficial for those going through menopause. You know, since I started dialing up the flax in my diet, which I have done for about 6 years now, since I became whole food plant-based, you know, I had really almost 0 symptoms of menopause, and I really put it down to those phytoestrogens, the lignans, and in phytoestrogens in other foods too. A tremendous amount of fiber, obviously, in flax. You know, if you have, problems with constipation, or your, digestion isn't quite as it was, when you were younger, things tend to sort of slow down a little bit, our entire digestion as we get older, then flax very often will really fix that for you. Flax seeds contain a very high level of omega-3 fatty acids, which is a very, very healthy and necessary fat. And also, flax has benefits, tremendous benefits, which most people don't realize in terms of the minerals. It has a very high mineral content. And if you're on a whole food plant-based diet, iron, calcium, magnesium, etc., are very, very high in flax seeds. So it is a nutritional powerhouse. And Gandhi actually said that wherever flaxseed is grown, there will be a healthier population. And I really, really believe this to be true. So when people say to me, Sophie, what is the one food that you would take to a desert island? It would indeed be flax. Because I could probably get coconuts, and if it was a desert island, and bananas, and maybe some greens and things, but I wouldn't be getting my flax to keep me, free of disease, and to keep my hair, skin, and nails in tip-top condition. So now let's take a look at how to buy your flaxseed. Okay, so you can buy your flax seeds either ground like this or as the whole seed. Now I have here, this is a brand called Spectrum, and there are other really good brands as well. I like this brand because they're organic, and I'll put the link underneath the video, but it doesn't have to be this brand. And I will say that if you buy them in a bulk bin at your local health food store, they will be way less expensive than in a packet like this. I think it's almost $1 a pound, so you can really save a lot of money if you can find them in the bulk bins. Now, which should we use, or buy, excuse me, whole or ground? Well, it doesn't really matter. However, if you buy the whole seeds, they will last longer. They have a longer shelf life. So if you buy them in bulk, I recommend you getting the whole flax seeds. Now, flax seeds can come in this brown color like this, or they can come in gold. I think they come in about 3 different colors, and it really doesn't matter. There's no different health benefits as to the color. You just choose whichever color you can find or want. Obviously, those are brown there. And these ones were golden, and these ones are milled or ground, sometimes known as flax meal. So it's the same, ground or meal is a word that's used interchangeably. Now, shorter shelf life, okay? So the pros of getting the whole seed are they're probably going to be fresher and they have a longer shelf life. However, the pros of ground are that you can use it right away in a number of different ways without having to grind it yourself at home. So I generally have both because I use them so much. Now let's just talk a little bit about if you like, the disadvantage of buying the whole seed. Now, the whole seed is encased in a very hard little package made by nature. Can you see? It's a really, really shiny, hard little package. Now, the great thing is that that little package keeps it fresh and protects the oil on the inside, but the disadvantage is that it will go in one end and out the other. If you eat these whole seeds without them being ground, you will not digest them and you will not get the health benefits. So, what you need to do if you get the whole seeds is grind them in a spice grinder or a coffee grinder, coffee mill, or if you're making a smoothie like I make in my Vitamix, there you go, my trusty Vitamix, every morning, you can pop the seeds right in there because they're just going to grind up with the rest of the smoothie. So if smoothies are your primary way of getting your flax in, then you can very easily go with the whole seed. Okay, so I know the next thing you're going to ask me is how much do I need to eat a day? So I personally have about 2 tablespoons a day. So as I said before, for breast cancer prevention, and this is what science tells us, it would be 1 teaspoon a day. But for these other health benefits, such as, regulating your blood sugar, getting your omega-3 fatty acids, and getting a tremendous amount of fiber and all the other nutrients, I tend to try and go for 2 tablespoons a day. No more, sometimes a little bit less, but between 1 and 2 a day for almost everybody, I think is a really good sort of gauge what you want to try and aim for. Now, is there anybody that shouldn't eat flax or ground flax? Well, if you're in your second 2 trimesters of pregnancy, I would play safe and avoid eating flaxseed because it has been connected with preterm, delivery. So let's just take out any risk factor, but generally almost everybody else should be good and should be really safe with 1 to 2 tablespoons a day. So we've gone over health benefits, we've gone over in what form to buy it, ground or flax meal, ground or flax meal, both the same thing, or the whole seeds, you know, the pros and cons of both of those. Now let's talk about how to use your flax, because there are other ways of enjoying your flax, not just in a smoothie. So if you're not a smoothie person, and I don't have a smoothie every single morning, I try to, but in the winter I don't always, but there's so many other things that you can do with your flax. So when you're cooking with flax, or you're eating it in any other way other than a smoothie, obviously it has to be ground. Now, what I love to do with ground flax is I like to sprinkle a tablespoon on your cereal or your oatmeal or your overnight oats. Easy, easy. Just sprinkle it on there, stir it in along with all the other goodies and, you know, your dates and your roasted nuts and, you know, your plant milks and your fresh fruit or your frozen fruit. Absolutely delicious. And it doesn't really taste, it doesn't interrupt the taste of whatever you're eating. Or you could put it on your plant-based yogurt, delicious yogurt fruit. You know, in a pinch, that's often what I'll do is I'll have a big bowl of plant-based yogurt, lots of lovely fruit, fresh fruit, and then I'll stir in, you know, 1 heaping tablespoon of ground flaxseed. Done and done. It's so easy. Another thing that you can do is that you can bake with flax. So often you'll see things in the store like waffles and it'll say extra omega in them, and that's just because they've added a little bit of flax, but it's so easy to do yourself. So if you're making banana bread or pumpkin bread or cookies or muffins or pancakes, just sling in some ground flax, a couple of tablespoons, and then you're just really sort of dialing up the health benefits of whatever baked good you're making. You can also make flax eggs. So since going whole food plant-based, I obviously don't eat eggs anymore, which is a blessing, because if you want to reduce the cholesterol in your diet, then obviously you don't want to eat eggs. And so I'm going to show you right now how to make a flax egg. So you're simply going to take about 1 tablespoon of flax, ground flaxseed, has to be ground because you won't make an egg otherwise. And then I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of warm water. And this is just warm. And mix it up. And then you're going to leave it to set up for about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, now let's talk about how to store your flaxseed, because this is really important. Remember, seeds, all seeds contain oil, and it truly is the healthiest way to get your oils, your healthy fats. And on that note, because I know this is a question that will come up, is you may say, Sophie, what about flax oil? I see it in the health food store in the refrigerated section. Should I be eating flax oil? Well, I actually prefer that you eat flaxseed, because to me it makes no sense to press out the oil and leave some of the health benefits in the actual fiber and the seed. You're way better off. It's really the same difference as, are you better off eating an olive or olive oil? Well, an olive is a whole food because it contains all of its original fiber, and olive oil has been processed, pressed, or whatever it has happened to it in processing to get the oil out. You're always better, always go with the fiber version, because that, by definition, is a whole food, and it is exactly the same with flax. Oh, by the way, there's an amazing health benefit that I haven't, it's actually a skin benefit that I'm going to give you right at the end of this video in a couple of minutes, so do not go away. I'm so glad I remembered this, because it can be life-changing for some of you who have really sensitive skin, so stick around. I'm just mixing my flax egg here because I'm going to show you that in a second. But storage. Okay, so storing flax seeds is very, very important because like any seed, they can go rancid quickly because of the oil. And all oils can go rancid quickly and have to be stored appropriately. So bottom line, here's how you do it. If you have the whole flax seed, as I said before, it comes in its own little nature package, that little hard shell. And so it is going to last quite a lot longer. Now, if you keep it in the fridge, I would keep it in the fridge. My recommendation is to keep all flax in the fridge or the freezer. So if it is a whole seed, it is going to last for up to a year in your fridge or your freezer. That is the whole seed. If, however, you have the ground flaxseed, you need to use it up rather more quickly. It will only last or stay really fresh for about a week in your pantry out of the fridge, and for up to 2 months if it's ground in your fridge or your freezer. So there you can see that's where the benefit is in getting the whole seeds. They just stay fresh for a lot longer. But sort of bottom line, just remember, if you grind them or if you buy them already ground, they have a short shelf life. They really should be kept in the fridge or freezer for up to 2 months. Okay, so there's the storage. Now let's go back and look at my flax egg, which is almost, no, it's not quite ready. So, okay, I'll finish the video with showing you my flax egg, but what I want to tell you about are the skin benefits. So, we have something on our skin called acid skin mantle. And it's basically what protects your skin from the outside elements. And because of the sort of very harsh chemicals and over-exfoliating and whatnot that we use on our skin, and because of the harsh environment that we live in, often that acid mantle, that protective layer, has broken down. So those of you who have really sensitive skin, dermatitis, and itchy skin, and this is what has been night and day for me, and I didn't realize it until way after the fact, and I thought, wow, I literally do not have itchy skin anymore. And then I looked into the science, as I always do, the evidence-based science, and I found it, and there it was. So I used to get slightly itchy skin because particularly where I live is very, very dry in Southern California. The air is very dry, and particularly at a certain time of year in the fall where you get these Santa Ana winds, it would get very dry and itchy. And also if you subscribe to the Ayurvedic philosophy of the different body types, if you have a Vata, V-A-T-A, or your Vata dominant, and I'll actually put a link to a really good book called Ayurveda for Dummies. I think it's for Dummies or for Idiots, can't remember, but I'll put the link. A friend of mine, Sahara Rose, wrote this really great book, and I'll put the link underneath the video if you're interested in that. But if you are that body type, the Vata type, then you will tend towards dry skin, particularly at certain times of year. So dry, itchy skin, dermatitis, eczema, even psoriasis, these kind of skin conditions do very well with flax. And not topically, not from the outside. You don't have to slather your body with flax oil, from the inside. And that is why I have found just so dramatically in my own life that truly what I eat is absolutely what I see. It affects my skin 100%. And so since I started really dialing up the flax in my diet and eating it every single day, I do not have that kind of itchy skin or any kind of sort of dermatitis anymore. And I've seen it in many other people, and it's a huge, huge skin benefit. I also really believe that my hair grows thicker and stronger, or has grown thicker and stronger since I've been including flax in my diet, and my nails also stronger and grow, I was going to say faster, I don't know if they grow faster, but certainly they're stronger. So try it. And now let's look at the flax egg and Okay, so you can see here, this has been sitting around for about 5 minutes now, but look at how goopy that is. And that, my friends, is, that actually I add a little bit more flax, so that's about 2 flax eggs in there. Okay, so that is it. That is my video on flax, which I have been dying to make for so long because, as you can see, I am very, very passionate about this particular food. And the last little tip I want to give you is this. If you go the smoothie route or route, depending on whether you're watching from England or America, just be aware that when you put flax, add flax to your smoothie, it will eventually make the smoothie a little bit goopy. Now, it does give it that, you know, if you had a thinner smoothie and you like more of a kind of milkshakey consistency, then you're going to get it. But not everybody likes that. My husband really doesn't like that. So what I recommend you do, if you batch make smoothies, if you make them ahead of time, even an hour ahead of time, if you don't want that sort of thicker consistency, then add your tablespoon of ground flaxseed in just before drinking it. So what I do is I'll just put it in for my husband or for me or whatever, stir it up, and it disappears. And because it takes a little while to set up, you know, it won't get goopy too quickly, is what I'm trying to say. Hope that makes sense. All right, hope you enjoyed this, and do check out all my other videos. I have so many on nutrition and skincare and anything and everything related to, you know, living the healthiest life that you possibly can. See you next time. Hi, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, there are hundreds more. And please also visit my blog at sophieuliano.com for detailed reviews, recipes, DIYs, and more.